Well, good morning, everyone. Just wanted to give you guys another update. We're going to be doing a compression test by the book, and the book says the engine must be warm for accurate readings on interstate and aspicate. Remove the spark plug caps, disconnect the spark plug wires, install a compression gauge on number 1, and then of course make a little chart and record the compression, which I'm going to do on my head. So you warm the motor up and then start with cylinder number 1, and I already have the compression gauge set up. I have the fuel valve turned off. There's probably still going to be some fuel being sprayed out of the hose. So we will start with it says to rotate the motor until the largest compression can be annotated. So here we go with number 1. So 180 psi seems to be the highest on that one. And the book says normal compression pressure is 11 to 15 kilograms, blah 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 blah, which I don't use. I can't read metric. I use psi. So 155 to 215 psi is considered normal. If compression is below 10 or 142 psi, or if there is a 14 psi variation between the cylinders, there is a leak somewhere. So just to be sure, we'll run it up again. So that one's at 180 psi for number 1. Now we'll check number 2. Okay, here's number 2. Or actually, this is cylinder number 3, but this is the second cylinder on the right side. And that one is roughly just above 180. But that's actually less than 14 psi difference. So we'll check the other side. Okay, this is cylinder number 4 on the left side. Look, here it comes in clear. Come on, camera. That one is actually less than 180. 50, 60, so that's about 170. So that's 10 psi lower than the right side, but that could be because the engine's cooling down. But okay, and finally cylinder number 2 on the left side. Interesting, that one's low. That one only went up to 150. That's very interesting. Try that one again. So about 150 again. So, for some reason, cylinder number 2 on the left side is low, and that's actually more than 14 psi. 50, that's 30 psi less than the other side. So just for continuity reasons, I'm going to go back and check the right side to see if that one dropped, because it might be because the engine's cooling down. So, okay, I've got it back on number 1. And we see that we're still at 180. So, just to recap, we got 180 on cylinder number 1 right side, about 180 on cylinder number 3 on the right side. Then on cylinder number 2 on the left side, we got 150. And then cylinder number 4, we got about just shy of, I think it was like 10 psi less, it was 170. So the left side seems to be weaker than the right side. Or is that an illusion? Is it because that the right side is sucking in so much oil that, obviously the pressure is going to be increased, whereas the left side is more dry? That's my theory anyways. But anyways, the book says if there's more than a 14 psi variation between cylinders, there is a leakage at the valves, piston rings, or cylinder head gasket. So I know some would be inclined to basically replace the gasket on both sides and see if that solves the problem. I, on the other hand, do not believe that will solve the problem. I think the next step is to perform a leak down test, and I don't have a leak down tester, so I'm going to have to go pick one up. and I will record that and give you guys the results on that. Right now, just shooting from the hip here, this is looking like worn piston rings. And something else I wanted to point out is when you turn the motor with this filler port off, it does a lot of pulsating. I mean, a lot. And you guys can't see it. Let me go ahead and pull this compression gauge off real quick. All right, I got paper over the hole. See what I mean? That's not good. That's not supposed to do that. And I don't even have the spark plugs on. So you guys tell me if that's normal. I don't think it's supposed to do that. I know there's going to be some pulsation because the pistons are moving, but with the spark plugs out and the oil in there, I know that the piston's moving, you know, up and down or left, you know, in and out is going to cause some pulsation, but not that much where you can actually feel air being pushed out. And so that's telling me something. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. That's it for now.